Oh, man. No! It's not rust. Hey guys, Mike with Old Iron. And what the hell is going on with this truck? Right. It's not rust, okay? It's a vinegar bath. And I'm going to take you off the tripod in a second here, and I'll show you exactly what's going on and why we do it. Now, what a vinegar bath does is you just take regular household vinegar, white vinegar, 5%, you mix it 4-to-1. So 4 cups of water, 1 cup of vinegar. And pretty much if you use cups, if you do 4 cups of water, 1 cup of vinegar, it's enough to do the whole vehicle. So you take it and you wipe it down. And what it's doing is when you're sanding and doing your body work, anywhere you break through to bare metal, as soon as that metal hits the air, or is exposed to the atmosphere, I guess, it actually starts rusting. All right. Now you might not see it, but it's there. Okay. And you'll see it sooner or later. So what this does is it neutralizes any rust that might be starting to form, or maybe that has formed that you didn't catch. A bunch of different scenarios, but I do this on everything. And there's also another product I use, and I'll go over that in a second. It just kind of depends on the circumstance and where I'm at on the project. So you take it, you just wipe it down with a sponge, wipe the whole vehicle down, and in about 15 minutes it'll turn about that color. Okay? Now what it's doing is it's doing a chemical reaction with the rust. And any little specks of rust that you had will turn black, and it basically turns it back into good metal is the best way I can explain it. Now there's other products out there that you could pay, $40 a gallon or whatever the hell it costs, I don't know. That does the exact same thing, okay? But you can go to your local grocery store, you can pick up a gallon of vinegar for what, maybe $5, and dilute it down. You do not want to use it straight. Like I said, 4 cups of water, 1 cup of vinegar is what I use. And then you let it sit, and it can sit on here for days, And the nice thing about it, with it on there, it's basically stopped that process of the rust, okay? Like I wiped this down because I've still got work I'm doing on the roof. And for some reason, people that own pickup trucks like to stand on their hoods and their roofs. So I'm dealing with that right now, and I got to get that taken care of before we get it to primer. So I should finish up with that today, and this thing will be ready for primer. Now what I'll do is I'll come in here, and you just wash all this off, all right? And then I've still got to hit the whole truck with like a 150 grit before I go into primer. And so I'll wipe it down, dry it off, I'll hit it with the 150, and then I'll come through, I'll wipe it down again, and I'll use regular cheapy household glass cleaner to wipe it down and get my surface clean. Once I get the surface clean, before I prime, I'll go through and I'll wipe the whole thing down with regular rubbing alcohol. And the regular rubbing alcohol is the same thing as a wax and grease remover. So I've got wax and grease remover. I can use that, or I can use the alcohol. It's basically whatever one is shorter reach, But if you don't have the wax and grease remover, you can use the alcohol. And now, will it get rid of big clobs of gunk? Yeah, probably, but you don't want to use it for that, I mean, it should be to the point to where you're ready to prime, and all that alcohol's doing is it's getting rid of little fingerprints or little, oil that you got on there. Or like me right now, leaning on this truck, I'm getting actually the oils from my skin on this surface. But like I said, I still got to sand it, I still got to wipe it down, so it's no big deal. So let me take you off of here, and I'll show you what this stuff does. Now, there wasn't a lot of good examples on this truck because, quite honestly, there wasn't a lot of rust. But you can see right here, see how that turned black? That's exactly what you want. And what it did is it neutralized that rust. Now this stuff, I mean, it pretty much, it comes right off. You know what I mean? So it's a little messy, yeah, you know, but you got to do what you got to do. So we'll get that done. I've still got some more body work to do. We'll get it in primer. And then once I get the high build on here, I can let it sit for a while if I need to, you know. And I probably won't, but once you get into high build, you have that option. Now, if you spray and you seal it off with epoxy primer, you've got to scuff that epoxy primer after about 24, 36 hours, depending on the product, because you'll lose that chemical bond. Now, if you notice, these look different. They don't have really that major orange look. And I used a different product on these, and I did it intentionally to show you the difference, okay? Now, with the vinegar, like I said, you know, it comes off real easy. It's just an orange dust is basically what it amounts to. So you can wipe it down with regular water, clean water, and a clean rag, and you'll get rid of this, okay? This here is an acid etch. And I'll use this product, which I'll leave a link in the description for this stuff, because I love it. I really do. But this I basically don't use on body panels. I did here just as an example, and it's not going to ruin them. It's just more work to get it off. But what this stuff is great for is your frames, your underbody, your wheel wells. And we'll go over that in a minute too, because there's a lot of posts online that are talking about, well, I want my vehicle sandblasted. Okay? If you're going to have a vehicle sandblasted, don't do the panels, especially with sand media. It creates heat, which will create warpage. Now, if you're doing a work truck, yeah, you know, you don't care what it looks like, yeah, you can do it, you know. If you're restoring a vehicle, it's gonna make you more work in the end. Now, some people like to have their stuff soda blasted, and it depends on the circumstance. Because with the soda blast, you really got to do something like the vinegar wash or something, because you have to neutralize that soda, and that crap gets everywhere. You'll have it in nooks and crannies 2 years down the road, you know. So it's a pain. It's got a purpose. But depending on the condition of your vehicle, you're much better off chemically stripping the exterior panels, you know, your fenders, your doors, your roof, your hood, etc. And then, once you break the vehicle down, you have your engine compartment, your inner wheel wells, your trunk, and your interior blast that. Idealistically, I try to stay away from it on the exterior body panels. And like I said, it kind of depends on the circumstance, but just kind of my view. Now, if you rub your finger across this, which you can't, but I can, it's rough. I mean, you can feel it, or you can hear it, all right? So I'm going to have to take a red scratchy pad, I'm going to have to scrub all this down, and I might even have to hit it again with like a 120 to smooth it back out. But what it does is all the black, same thing, it neutralizes the rust. So a lot of times, like yesterday, we got the yard dart. Now I wanted the yard dart in here a long time ago, and you know, life gets in the way, and it hasn't been in here yet. So it's sitting on the side of the shop right over here, outside, and we've got a car cover on it and stuff like that, but it has rust issues that I don't want to get any worse. And I know I'm going to have to take that vehicle all the way down. So I had my son go out there yesterday and take like an 80 grit and just rough up all the areas, and took a wire brush and did the trunk and stuff like that. And we coated it all in this. That way it'll neutralize the rust. And if it does not stop, it'll excessively slow down the decay process, I guess is the best way to put it. So that's where we're at on this. I've got to finish that crap up there. It's close, but when I started, it looked like somebody jumped up and down on that roof. Now, this is the alcohol you want to use. When I was talking about wiping it down with alcohol, just take it, stick it on a clean rag, and you wipe down the panels. Now, when you wipe down the panels, do not do this. You know, your panel should already be clean because you already blew it off, you wiped it down, and then you wipe it down with the Windex. And when the Windex dries, take the alcohol, stick it on a rag, and go from one side of the panel down. Okay? One side of the panel down. And what it's doing is it's going to pick up all kinds of stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then you're ready to prime. So hopefully we'll get there tonight. I don't think so because my motivation is 0 today. So I want to get that roof done and then we'll kind of see from there. I'm supposed to have some company from out of town come in. And if he doesn't have to work tomorrow, I'm going to recruit his butt. He don't know it yet. And we're going to prime this tonight. So we'll just have to kind of see what's going on. There's still some more body work that I want to do. We got to do the roll pan down on the bottom. I still don't know what I'm doing with the tail lights, if I'm going to put the stocks back in, or if I'm going to close those out and put the tail lights in the roll pan. So this project's kind of a shoot from the hip type of project. Once I get the outside of the bed done, I'll have my son come in here. We're just going to scuff this up, and all we're doing to the inside is I'm going to put bed liner in it. So it don't have to be perfect. I've got some pretty bad dents over there on the wheel well. I'm pretty sure I can dolly them out from the backside, and we'll kind of straighten out a little bit. It's not a show truck, so I'm not 100% worried about it. I want it to look nice, but it's not going to be perfect. I knew that going into it. But that's where we're at, and I hope that helped a little bit, or at least a little bit of entertaining. Please like, subscribe, share the video, get the word out. We'll have more coming up, and we will see you soon. Thanks, guys.